Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Meyer. I am the Sustainable Food Programs Coordinator at the University of California, Merced. And today we're here to talk about green healthcare, which is going to be really exciting with Roya. So I'm just going to throw it over to them and they can introduce themselves, and then we're going to go through a short PowerPoint. Feel free and start putting questions in the chat if you would like, as well as you can just hold them for the end, and then we'll go from there. All righty, take it away. Go ahead, Roya.
Okay, welcome everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you for participating in this meeting. Today we discuss green healthcare, and before I explain what is green healthcare, I'm going to explain the impact of the healthcare industry on human health and environment. Unfortunately, why I cannot change the, okay. Unfortunately, we have healthcare industry has negative impacts on the environment and actually is one of the major contributors to pollution. And at the same time that healthcare industry try to cure people, at the same time make them sick. So this is a paradox that we have today with healthcare industry. Some numbers, if you look at it, US hospitals use 836 trillion BTUs of energy annually. And 8% of the harmful GHG that you know is greenhouse gas emission, it goes, it's from hospitals and healthcare industries. CO2 emissions and medical buildings. The CO2 that the emission is 3 times more than the other office buildings. Another issue with healthcare industry, I'm going to go fast because I don't want to talk more than 10 minutes, and then I'll be happy to answer any question. Only we mention it to actually as a reminder. Okay, excessive use of chemicals in hospitals can cause problems with human health and the environment. Each year, healthcare facilities purchase more than 100 billion worth of chemicals. And many healthcare cleaning products have been proved to be harmful to human health. And these are the list of some products that mostly we use it for cleaning and disinfection. And as you see in the second column, the negative impact of our health, breathing difficulty, rashes, allergy, liver disease, kidney disease, all are the result of these chemicals. Again, next slide are different chemicals and their negative impacts and being carcinogenic, many of them. That there are a solution for it, but first let's see what is going on right now. Another issue with the healthcare industry is medical waste. The healthcare industry disposes 4 billion pounds of waste into landfills each year. Another study shows that medical facilities produce about 25 pounds of waste per day per patient. And what we do with this amount of waste? You know, right now, one of the problems is finding landfills. What we do with this waste, either we send them to landfills or we burn them. Very fast and briefly, we're going to review what is going to happen if we send our waste to landfills. As this slide shows, negative impacts are, on the environment is clear. Landfills are the third largest source of human-related methane emission in the US. Also, the result of landfills are soil contamination, surface water pollution, and the problem of returning all the contamination to our food chain. The next solution for waste right now is incinerators. What if we burn them? Incineration is a traditional way of treatment and disinfection of medical waste. And before we thought if we burn them, we get rid of them. However, many studies show that incineration cannot eliminate hazardous medical waste. It can only concentrate. We change the volume, we reduce the volume of waste, we don't remove them. And the studies shows that about 30% of the harmful medical waste that goes into the incinerators remain as ash. Burning medical waste leads to the release of dangerous pollutants, heavy metals, and toxic chemicals, such as dioxin. There are many hazardous stuff. We have it, but we don't have time to talk about it, but I'm going to explain a little bit about dioxin. These are most important product of incineration. As I said, dioxin is one of them, mercury and lead. Lead, usually people, they know about it, that can cause learning disability, attention deficit, kidney damage. And mercury can cause several problems, as well as dioxin that is carcinogenic. I brought the list of the rest of it, that if we have time, we can talk about each of them. As I said, I'm going to explain a little bit about dioxin. What is dioxin? Dioxin is a hazardous compound that is environmentally persistent and can cause cancer, diabetes, learning disabilities, liver disease. Unfortunately, dioxin does not, because anything that we produce, after some times they dissolve in the environment, but dioxin is going to stay for 100 years. And this is unfortunate that medical waste incinerators are the largest known source of dioxin in the United States. And this is a fact that I put in a red ribbon, that even low-level exposure to dioxins has been reported to be linked to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. These are the list of some articles that I read about the relationship between dioxin and diabetes. And how we can have dioxin, why we have dioxin as a result of medical waste. Because the reason is, in healthcare industry, we use PVC. And as you see in hospitals in this area, we use PVC. IV bags, blood bags, anesthesia mask, catheter, bedpan, all of them, unfortunately, are from PVC. And PVC, when we burn PVC, we produce dioxin. Although that PVC is very dangerous, even if you don't burn it, because of the additive that PVC has, they can evaporate and they can contaminate our environment. So what is the solution? Is the PVC phase out? Is long time we offer to the healthcare industry that we need to start PVC phase out. Unfortunately, PVC is very good plastic. It's practical, it's not expensive, it works in a lot of area. However, we know that it's not good for our health. This is the information from one article in 2017 about the diabetes in our country, that it says diabetes will remain a major health crisis in America. And until 2030, we're gonna have 54, almost 55 million Americans that they have diabetes. And if we think about the cost, the cost of the diabetes for the society is going to be 622 billion in 2030. So the question is, do we help people or make them sick? So this is a question that people that they work in healthcare industry right now, they need to answer it. And green healthcare is the solution for all the problems that I mentioned. Green healthcare want to do something that doesn't harm people. There are a lot of solutions. I'm not going to spend time on it. If you have a question, I'll be happy to answer. These are the list of the solutions that we can have about waste management, about purchasing, and about energy conservation, water conservation, buildings, and all the solutions that we can have for human health. Okay, I'm gonna stop my slides and ready to answer any question.
Wow, that was great. So if anyone has any questions, feel free and either raise your digital hand or you can come on video and raise your actual hand. You can also put your questions in the chat for thoughts or what have you. I do have one question. I believe you said it's 25 pounds of waste per person per day, correct?
Per person per day.
Okay, is that including food waste?
Yes. One issue with the right now, some hospitals, good question, because we work on this one. When I say we, it means healthcare industry. From maybe 5 years ago, when hospitals and healthcare industries, mostly hospitals, understood that how harmful is their waste, they separated. And I have a actually, I am a member of a team that we work for the food waste of one hospital in Maine, because we show that how important it is to separate the waste, kitchen waste from other waste. But when we say 25, yes, it's including everything.
Wow, that's a lot.
A lot is a lot. You know, if you remember when you go to doctor, even in the 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they have to, because they want to save us, because they want to help us, they change their gloves and you see that they keep putting and filling out the trash can. So all of us want to be in a place that is clean. However, when we make it clean and we make other area very dangerous, we have to find a solution for it.
That makes sense. Are there any hospitals that are more progressive than others when it comes to food waste? That's my area of expertise, food waste or plus food.
Oh, food waste. Okay, I'm going to send you my article. Actually, I'm a second author of one article about food waste of the hospitals. Yes, we have actually the easiest, one of the easiest solution is separating food waste with the medical waste. The issue is this one: why we produce a lot of, why we produce a lot of dioxide. One of them is because we are burning PVC. When packaging comes, packaging is not dirty. Before of all these studies, they put all the waste in hospitals in the one place. So you know, if you have a hazardous waste and you mix it with the regular waste, everything is hazardous. So one solution is this one. Okay, separate the packaging. Usually packaging has a lot of PVC. So if you separate it, they are not medical waste anymore. They are not dangerous, and you don't need to burn them. So one solution. The same issue with the kitchen, because for the kitchen food waste that it is your expertise, is the regular waste, is the same as residential waste. So we can separate it and we can treat them in a different way. Why they didn't do it before and why some hospitals still they don't do it? Because it's a labor needs. They have to hire people to separate the waste. But it's very easy. It's one of the easiest way to reduce the medical waste is separating waste. And if we know how important it is, we should do it. When you ask some hospitals, yes, actually I have in my slides because I didn't tell you guys all the slides. Let me find and tell you the name of the hospitals that they were. Dell Children Medical Center in Austin, Texas, York Hospital in New York, and Pitt County Memorial Hospital in North Carolina, St. Luke's Hospital in Minnesota. All are the hospitals that they are good. Actually, they are green and they have some solutions, reducing PVC and separating waste and composting and what is this, recycling. All this list, actually list is longer than this one. Because of the slide I put these names. We have two chats. I don't know if they are a question. If you could talk through the waste management strategies. Okay. Let me, I'll make sure that. Okay, Erin, can you help me with the questions?
Sure, yeah. So then, yeah, one mentioned if we could go through the strategies as you just said, but then someone else, Melinda, said, do you recommend putting PVC plastic waste in landfills instead?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I'm sorry, yeah, Melinda said, I had no idea medical waste burning was the #1 source of dioxins in the environment. Do you recommend putting PVC plastic waste in landfills instead? I think we kind of went over this a little bit, but if you want to just reiterate.
No, I don't recommend. I recommend to don't use PVC because PVC, unfortunately, as I mentioned, unfortunately, it was very fast presentation, so I didn't explain, but I mentioned it. PVC is very harmful. If we burn it, we produce dioxin. If we don't burn it, because of the additive that PVC has, evaporate and contaminate our environment. Because of that, if any of you guys have the curtain in your shower, look at that, make sure this curtain is not from PVC, because it's not good for your health. As I mentioned, PVC is #3, or if you look at any jar plastic that you have in the ring, in the, what is this? You see that V, either they said 3 in the circle. I was looking for circle, I didn't come to my brain because I had a lot of meeting today. Anyway, in the plastic, you see V or #3, it shows that this is PVC. Don't buy PVC. If any food is in PVC, please don't buy it because it's definitely dangerous for your health. The recommendation that I have personally is don't produce PVC. But we cannot get rid of it very fast because, as I said, it's very cheap and very good plastic. So the suggestion that we give to the healthcare industry is phase out PVC. Little by little, those stuff that we can make it with something else, let's do it that way. For example, we can have a plan of 5 years, phase out PVC. The problem is our people, they are not aware of these problems. So we didn't even start it. We don't have, the majority of our hospitals are not green. So they don't even accept that there is a problem. But there, my point is this one, there is a solution for all of them. But the first question was, she wanted me to talk about the waste management of the hospitals. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Waste management of hospitals. The green hospitals that we have, some of them in the US, the first things that they started is separating waste. I'm going to share one slide again because I had it to show you that the hospitals really, they don't have that much medical waste. But why we have this large amount of waste? Because we didn't separate it. If I can find this, okay, medical waste. Oh gosh. Let me share again if you can see it. Okay. Share. Okay. See, look at the waste that we have in the hospital. A correct waste management can reduce up to 85% of hazardous healthcare waste. Why? Because hazardous waste only is a 5%. Regulated medical waste is 10 to 15%. If we want to be very meticulous, that I am myself, I'm very concerned about the being clean and about the people's health. All together, we can have 20%, and 80 to 85% of the waste is not harmful. Right now, in a lot of hospitals, 100% of their waste is harmful. So the solution is this, to hire some people that they separate them. Don't mix the waste together. So the first solution is this one. Let me stop sharing. The first solution is separation of kitchen waste, as I talk about it. One of the easiest, because usually operation of kitchen is separate with the operation of the hospital. So that one is easier. The other solution is this one, packaging. All the packaging are clean because packaging comes for the new product. So don't bring inside the hospital. So packaging, if we separate packaging, if we separate food waste and separate the regular waste that we have. For example, somebody is there for a regular illness, and then because the trash can that is in the room of the patient doesn't have medical waste, because it's going to be harmful for the patient and the visitors. So there is a good need of good management. I am not telling you it's feasible and easy. No, it is feasible, but is not, maybe in the start is not easy, because we need to have a very clear management about it. It says, if hospitals have incinerators on site, would you assume that dioxin would be higher with the mile or two radius of hospital? Or no, unfortunately, there is no law about PVC burning. And obviously, when we have pollution, when we are closer to the source of pollution, so it's going to be heavier. But at the end, because dioxin is going to stay in the environment for 100 years, if we produce dioxin here, people in China, they are not safe. This is a reason that we have global warming, because before we didn't know that world is small. Right now, we learn that, and science showed us that we cannot put, if you go through all this procedure, the USA used to send the waste to China. Right now, China, they learn that this waste are hazardous, they don't accept it. And from last year or 2 years ago, they started to have, even they don't accept dirty recycling. If you live in California or Los Angeles, you know that they don't charge you waste management, they charge you for your trash can. They don't charge you for recycle. What is the reason? The reason is because they sell the recycle. So because they make money out of recycle, they don't charge you for the recycle, but they charge you for the regular waste. And what they do, they sell it to China. Mostly China is the country that buy this recycling. But from 2 years ago, little by little, that they learn about the harmful of this waste. Right now, they told us we don't buy the dirty recycle. So all the cities, they are more careful because they cannot sell to, about the price, I don't know. I don't have any knowledge how much they get, but I know all the cities, they sell their recycles. But I don't know if I answer your question or not. 2 point I got, what are the alternatives to PVC already, and what do we do with it? Nothing. If PVC is in the environment, unfortunately, you and me, we don't have any power to do anything, but we have the power to don't make it more. As I said, actually, I told all of my family members, don't use the number 3 plastic. 245, let me tell you this one too. For the plastics, number 2, number 4, and number 5 are safer. I believe number 5, most of the food, they put it in the plastic number 5. If you use, we cannot get rid of plastic in our life. This is a reality. However, we can reduce the impact of it. If you buy something and you want to keep it for a long time, it happens, for example, you buy mayonnaise that we don't use it in 1 week. Put it in a glass jar. As much as possible, don't put in the plastic jars for a long time. However, I'm very careful about it by myself. In a short term, I have to use plastic. We cannot do anything about it. But PVC, if the alternative for PVC, a lot of plastics, they can work, but maybe they are not as easy as PVC. But when we see PVC is dangerous, so we accept it. And then if we are concerned about this problem, we are gonna find a solution. The reason we have problem in the US, because majority of people still they are not concerned about the environment. And they think it's something very distant from our life, but it is very related to our health. You know how, I'm sure all of you guys, maybe I shouldn't say all, but majority of the people, at least they have one person that has diabetes in their lives. And recently I see a lot of diabetes. Actually, my husband is a physician and he treats diabetes patients. So I'm very familiar with this disease, and I know how many people, unfortunately, they have diabetes. Very expensive disease, and is not easy to take care of it. I read one article from one of the Harvard professor. He is from India, and he was mentioning, because right now we say we have too many diabetes people because most of them, they are overweight. He was mentioning that, yes, it's correct. Right now, we don't exercise, we are overweight, but diabetes in India improved, actually increased 300 times compared to last century, 300 times. And he was saying it's correct. However, obesity is not 300 times compared to the last century. So we have to find a way that why these things happen. There are not enough study for us to ask, because we have to have a lot of study to be able to stop incineration. And then there is no solution right now. We have some small machine in the hospitals. Some hospitals, they have it, but the performance, you cannot compare the performance with the incineration. So today that I know and I studied that incineration is very harmful, I cannot say stop it. We cannot stop it. The best solution is reducing waste. Even recycling and composting, all this stuff are the solution, but the solution we are looking for it is reducing waste. And one part that I didn't mention it is reprocessing. A lot of medical stuff that they are reprocessing, and government actually supervise them very clearly. Several studies came out to show that when we are reprocess, the result is exactly the same as the new. So, but this reprocessing, this is the only one that hospitals followed because they can save a lot of money. So reprocessing is only part that we don't need to insist to the hospitals, because they make money. And right now, I know majority of the hospitals, they are using the reprocessing. But it is good, doesn't matter. We are not, personally, I'm not against making money. I hope protecting environment make money, so everybody protects the environment. But in a long run, definitely it is beneficial for the society, not only our health. Even if we want to make money, it is important to take care of the environment. But the problem is this one that doesn't come very fast. And we have to think about next 10 years or 20 years, that a lot of us, we don't do it.
Awesome. Thank you for providing that information. And then just reading through the chats. Let's see. Oh, and one came in via the registration link. I want to make sure we ask that. How would you suggest? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's supposed to. I'm so sorry. What was your question?
No, that's okay. I was going to read a question that came in from the chat from Maria, or from the registration link from Maria. And she said, how would you suggest someone get into the field of sustainable procurement, especially in the food industry? I mean, it's a little specific to food, but if you want to just maybe provide information about how to get into your field, that would be good.
A lot of universities, they have environmental science courses and the fields of studies. The easiest way, I think, is go and study environmental studies. If you want to have as a job, but if you want to live as a sustainable person, that this is our request from all of us, because it is related to everybody. It is easier. A lot of groups, a lot of communities, they are working on environment, they care about the environment, and you can be one of the member of them. If you want, I can send you a list of the groups that they are working on environment. But if you want to get the job and make money, the easiest way is studying this field. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you. All right, does anyone else in the audience have any other questions? Awesome. Okay. So I have some questions for you. What is your why? Like, why did you get into this? What drives you? What motivates you?
Good question. My undergrad, it was architecture. So I am an architect. And I went for the master's degree. I like in architecture, usually we have some units about urban planning. Not maybe 6 units or so, but out of these 6 units, I liked urban planning because it was related, for my feeling, was more related to the people life. I had a very good professor that he was concerned about the environment. And when you work in urban planning, definitely you need to have a knowledge about urban planning. So from my master's degree, I learned more about the environment. So I decided for my master's thesis work on the water crisis. So from that time, then because I was a student of the architecture and I was working part-time for my professor, one of my professors. So from that point, I learned about the environment. And after that, I studied more and more and more. And then for my doctoral degree, my dissertation was about healthcare. So this is the situation that I'm here. And I do a lot of volunteer job about sustainability, about the environment, because I think it is a job for all of us. We need to protect the next generation. Actually, right now, we find out is not the matter of next generation. We have to protect ourselves. So this is the story of my study.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I like to ask everyone I meet if they have a book recommendation. So do you have any book recommendations regarding this or other types of sustainability or anything else?
Unfortunately, about green healthcare, I don't have anything in my mind. The reason is this one, that I had a hard time to find data about green healthcare. Maybe 2 years I was looking for green healthcare data. I couldn't find. Some articles you can find it, but book. And then I designed the first green healthcare course in the nation that I taught in Cal State Dominguez Hills. That time I wanted to have some textbook for my student. We didn't have it. So it was a course without textbook. Only I had my student study different articles, my own articles, and this stuff. I hope after that time, maybe it was, I finished my dissertation in 2016. I hope some books came out about green healthcare, but I am a member of the organization that usually email me something new comes. I saw a lot of new articles about green healthcare that I was thinking, oh, I wish it was a time that I needed this data. A lot of more articles, but I didn't see any books. And I don't know, again, I'm telling you, until 2 years ago, none of the universities in the US, they had a course for green healthcare, because I was creating a syllabus and I wanted to get some idea from other professors, because it was the first time and never happened. So my course was the first green healthcare course in the nation. But after 2 years, I don't know, hopefully other universities, because little by little we see that different universities, they come and join the group of environmentalists to protect their own health and their family's health and the society.
So what does that course consist of?
Information about green healthcare, because some people, even today, if you tell them green healthcare, they don't know what's the meaning of it. And when I talked to the dean of our school, and because green healthcare was the subject of my dissertation, and I thought this is very important information. I talked to the dean, and dean accepted to offer this course. Then I was thinking, okay, based on the society that I see in the US, majority of the people, they don't have that much knowledge about the environment. So I had to create some background. So maybe 1/3 of the course was in general information about the environment, because when you don't know what is going on, then if you remember, I asked you, the audience, they know about sustainability or they don't know? Because if they don't know, it's very hard to go one step ahead and talk about green healthcare. So 1/3 of the course was general information as introduction, and the 2/3 of it, it was about green healthcare. And I had my students to go to different hospitals and interview nurses and doctors and different healthcare professionals. Actually, it was a very successful course. My students, they like it. Some of them, they were master's degree students, and I was amazed that they didn't have even small information about the environmental issues. And it is sad. But after finishing, I had a lot of email from them that they were happy to have this information. And one thing I remember, one of my students told me, thank you, because you showed us that we can do something. Unfortunately, a lot of information from the environment, it has a negative information, negative news. However, we don't tell them there is any solution. So when we don't tell them there is any solution, they try to don't listen, because make them nervous and they don't know what they have to do. In this course, I taught the students that they can do something, and even small actions works. I told them, if you change one habit, one bad habit, because there are several articles that shows, for example, instead of disposable coffee mug, use your mug and take it to your home, bring it back, take it to your work and bring it back. It has the impact of it. So the part that my student liked it, most of it, it was these things that they learn they can do something. And still, I think, unfortunately, I finished my dissertation in 2016. Right now, we are 23, so 7 years. Still, we are in the same situation that make me disappointed. For my dissertation, I mentioned it to my advisor that we need to educate people about the environmental issues. Still, after 7 years, I am seeing that we need to educate our people. And it makes me sad because it shows that we are not fast enough. Environment is not in a good situation, and our society is not fast enough even to educate people about it. Because when you educate them, they do something. But a lot of people, they don't know how important it is.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. Any other questions in the chat, or anyone want to ask anything else? Okay. I have a couple of other questions I can get to. So are there any efforts that you're aware of? This might not be easy to answer. To improve the nutrition and the taste of the food so that less food goes to waste in these hospitals?
Can you repeat your question? I want to make sure I understood you correctly.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering if you know of any like initiatives or programs that are working to improve both the nutrition and the taste of the food in these hospitals so that less of it goes to waste.
About the taste, I don't know, but about the program, I know at least one hospital in San Francisco. They started because, let me share with you one table to show you what is the difference if we eat vegetable or we eat meat. Basically, meat is very bad for the environment. And we know that a lot of nutritionists, they say meat is not good, too much meat at least, is not good for our health. So some hospitals, they started one movement that once a week, they don't offer meat to the patients. And patients, they were happy. So it was interesting that this program was successful. I don't know why when program is successful, they don't do it for the other hospitals. I don't understand, because if you are doing it, you save money, because anyway you have to pay money for meat. They are successful. I hope they are, because I talked to them maybe last year and I read one article about it. But they were very successful, and their patients, they were happy. So it was one movement about the food. About the taste, I don't know. I have to say, I had one speech about sustainability, introduction to sustainability last year. And we have urban ag. Let me ask you a question. Everybody knows about urban ag?
Yes.
Okay. If everybody knows about urban ag, our school has urban ag. It means we have the one section in our university. As you know, most of the universities are big, so we have land for it. So from the School of Environmental Science, they started to produce several vegetables and try to do it in a very healthy way and have organic food, and they offer every, I believe, Wednesdays, they offer free fresh fruit to the environment, to the student, and to anybody comes the neighborhood. So it's very good and active way. I had a speech, and the manager of the sustainability group decided to offer lunch for everybody. I think around 100 people came to that speech or so. So they offered the lunch, and lunch, they produce lunch through this urban act, nothing else. So because I tasted the food, it was really delicious. I don't know how the chef did it, but it was it, and gives me a very good feeling because it was delicious and it was healthy and doesn't hurt the environment and organic. So but it was very delicious, and I was asking, I need to talk to the chef to see how she did it. It was very delicious. I remember that I came home and I was explaining to my husband, I said, why you didn't bring it? Didn't come to my mind to take for my husband, but I felt very good because they didn't buy anything from outside. All the product of this urban ag, they gave it to the chef, and chef made a very delicious lunch for everybody. But for the study and for the article, I didn't see anything that they talk about the taste of different food. One thing that I want to share with you is one table that shows the impact of each product on the environment. If I can find it very fast, I can show it to you. Okay. Meanwhile, you can ask me question until I find this. What food? Okay, I think I find it. Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay, see, sustainable food services in the healthcare industry. If you see, for lamb, they actually calculated the equivalent of CO2. And then for if you, and I think the unit is kilogram, okay? Yes, is a kilos. If you use 1 kilo's lamb, it means it's equal to drive 91 miles. So you produce the CO2 equal to driving 91 miles. But if you use 1 kilogram of lentils, is equal to driving 2 miles. So you see the difference between the food, the meat and vegetable. And all of us, I'm not the nutritionist, only I read some articles that I know vegetable is better for our health compared to meat. Because of this situation, those hospitals that I told you, I remember the name of this San Francisco hospital, that they decided to don't offer meat once a week. So they saved money, hospitals saved money, people, they were happy, and they could help the environment. So we can find it. The point I want to make is this one. And I try to tell everybody that it's feasible. If we do something, it can't. You cannot say, okay, I'm one of them, one person, I cannot do anything. All of us can do everything, and then most important, educate other people. it is very important that they know they can do, because I saw a lot of people that they said, we are worried about the environment, but we cannot do anything. Yes, we can. Let me stop sharing to see the problem with this meat chart is that they don't separate industrial feed lot production from sustainable graze small. Yes, you are right. In other words, isn't it, we have to consider how the animals. You are right completely. I 100% I agree with you. However, no matter what, when we use meat from cow, we produce a lot of, because the waste produce a lot of methane, and methane is one of the GHG, so greenhouse gas. Even if so, from two facets we can look at the issue. One of them is we take care of the animals and make sure that they are in a good situation. But doesn't matter how you do it, this producing meat can cause methane, and methane is very dangerous for the environment. Other one, okay. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for coming. Okay. Any other question?
This is great. I really appreciate this. I learned a lot. I didn't know a lot about healthcare sustainability, so that's definitely very helpful. Just for sake of time, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us and answering questions and providing an awesome PowerPoint. And thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Thank you.